Hey, oh, here we go.
How's it going?
Episode 1, EitherOr podcast. We discuss either serious topics or very funny, fun-loving topics, generally on alternating weekends. I am your host, Phil B. I have my co-host, JDG over there. And Big Papa Paul right
there. You mentioned the guy who's not on camera first before you mentioned. I really like that.
For privacy reasons, Josh doesn't want to be on camera, even though
what you say my name for?
He is calling Josh Phil. he doesn't want to be on camera, like I said, for privacy reasons, so we're not going to have him on camera.
I'm too cute to be on camera.
So whatever you say, Josh. Whatever you say.
Yeah. So today we're going to be discussing a certain topic that many people probably will not like. And that's completely okay. If you want, I'd say if you can handle it, you can stay, and if not, you can leave. That's fine. It's just it's a very serious topic, and it's not only kind of a tribute to somebody, but it's also just us kind of giving our thoughts about it, as well as kind of addressing it. And at the end, I even have I have hotline numbers on my phone, but considering I'm also streaming from my phone, yeah, so I kind of have to do this real quick. I'm sorry, this is very unprofessional.
That's the first podcast. We're going to work out all our kinks and stuff.
Yeah, does anyone have any bling?
Have you what?
Any bling?
Bling?
What do you mean by bling?
Well, like, if you got the hotline and we got some bling, you know.
We're already starting off strong here.
Yep.
Okay. Alright. So, what we're going to be talking about is like I said, a very kind of serious topic. It's about a YouTuber named Etika. If you want, you can explain the situation and who he was.
With Etika, or Desmond Amopa's real name, pretty much, as many people know, he recently committed suicide. And, he was, for the most part, a YouTube streamer. He did a few, videos here and there, just, random skits. But for the most part, he was mainly a streamer. And then, there was a couple instances where, he just did, had some, random outbursts over Twitter where he just deleted his entire channel, not once, but twice. It was just a whole crazy situation. I mean, overall, Etika, just as a person, he was, a loving, entertaining person. He always wanted to have a good time, go with the flow and everything, but unfortunately, he took his life.
Yeah, you could see the signs that it was starting to spiral, but when he finally did it, it was really just out of nowhere. It was very unfortunate. I actually saw the apology video he made before. We're kind of a couple weeks late.
Yeah.
It was suicide by drowning. He drowned himself, I think, off the New York Bridge.
Yeah, Brooklyn
Bridge. When it was around the 19th or 23rd, I couldn't really find a date for that. But yeah, it was really tragic. It was so sudden. A lot of people, when they started seeing the signs, kind of just ruled it as. At first, it was kind of just, he's just being extraneous.
Yeah, trolling, all that sort of thing. Just messing around.
But then people were starting to realize, he might actually have mental problems. A lot of people were saying he had bipolar, manic depression.
I think actually one of his followers actually called a SWAT team to go to his house.
Yeah. He had a mental break that day actually, because that was the reason why. Because he wouldn't let police in his house, and they called the SWAT team, and he was eventually just taken away and put in a mental ward. He was in and out of mental wards multiple times. But yeah, ultimately, it was overall just a fucked up situation. But it unfortunately it did happen. I wish it could have turned out better, but it didn't. I wish he could have got the help, but I won't. Just I'm already starting off with a controversial one here. But on his apology video, he said that he kept pushing people away, and that he didn't, he wasn't going to, he didn't want to seek help. He kept saying, "I have this, I got this, I got this," and then in the end, when he finally found it, he didn't. It was too late. He had pushed everyone that wanted to help him out of the way, and it is so unfortunate. I feel bad. I feel bad not only for him, but the people. One, because they're going to be blaming themselves for it, even though it's like I said, he pushed people away. Like I said, it's unfortunate. It really sucks, but it was one of those things where it's like you can't help someone that didn't want to be helped. And as much as a lot of people wish they could, they he just would not let anybody.
There's responsibility on both sides of that. I mean, like on the one hand, you have Etika pushing everyone away, but on the other hand, I mean, we still have that responsibility as a society to not completely 100% obligation, protect those from themselves and from other people, but so be there, that person, that voice of reason, to show them the reality they may not be seeing themselves.
And I know, like, well, there's like a lot of different like sides of this. There's, of course, Etika's side where he not necessarily wasn't like trying to seek help, but he was just kind of just like trying to do his own thing and solve his own problems, I guess. And then there was, of course, his fan base too, which is not necessarily like their fault for what happened, but like they're like a lot of people kind of just like didn't really take any of this seriously, and it kind of just really didn't help him in the end. And like by the time he realized he really needed help, it was too late.
It was tough because like even before he started showing signs, he was already going through some pretty tough stuff with like I think he got swatted on one of his streams before. A lot of streamers do, but it was just like there was stuff like that mixed with like of course people just kind of just talking bad about him, and then like create creator depression is what I call it.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, it's like when a creator puts so much value in like their content and like
that person who they are, their persona.
Yeah, like they put so much value into their content, how it affects other people, that in the end they stop. Sometimes, I'm not saying all, but sometimes they kind of stop paying attention to their own mental health.
Yeah.
And they just kind of focus on the content, which it's not good. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad to want to focus, but you still have to focus on your mental health. And it was rough. And then we find out that he had all these mental problems, and then it just kind of elevated all the problems he already had. It was rough. It was rough. Just like seeing it from someone who I personally I I didn't know much about him. I knew of him. I seen a few of his streams, but I never really knew much. He knew way more about him than I did. Um, and but still, from like someone that didn't know much about him, looking in, it's still heartbreaking, to say the least, to see someone that could influence all these people in a good way and bring just so much joy to people's days to just kind of just be gone in an instant. Like even after the apology video, people still had hope. Like we can fix this. We can fix it.
Like I know, like even with the apology, like I know, like he had it as like a scheduled upload or whatever. It's like people still had hope. Like they're like looking into all these like little conspiracies. Like, oh, he's just like gonna go lay low for a while, or he joined the cult or some mess like that. But it's he did what he did, and it's really unfortunate, especially for me. Like I watched this guy like throughout high school. Like granted, I didn't get to like catch like every stream of his, but if I saw that Etika was streaming. That shit was an event to me. It's like I gotta drop everything to watch some Etika because I know I was gonna have a good time when I was watching one of his streams. Like I still remember like one of his streams, like he did like some crazy shit where like he broke like some light bulbs over his head or some shit, and everyone's like, "Dude, open a window! You're gonna like." Because like the gas in the light bulb or whatever, like I don't know. He just did like some crazy shit, and like he just kept trolling everyone. It was just ridiculous. He's like, no, I'm not gonna open the window. I'm fine. He just went crazy. Like I wish I could have donated to one of his streams too, but like I never had like the money to do any of that. But no, man, it's just crazy. Like knowing that he's gone now, it's just like, oh my goodness. Like I don't know what else to say, really. This is just a whole unfortunate situation.
Yeah, I know zero about this guy.
Josh
Oh.
knows probably the least amount,
I know.
but
But I know he was a streamer, he was a YouTuber, and then I get a message, dude's dead. Oh, okay. And now I'm learning, seems like a really fun guy.
Yeah, no, he was really fun. Like he's become like, I don't want to say he's become a meme, but he's been a part of like so many memes out there. Like especially like reaction memes. Like he would just like when the new Smash Bros came out, he gave like one of the greatest reactions ever to that. He's just a funny guy, man.
yeah, and it's good that because I think I have notes, believe it or not, but in my notes I did put that like I think a lot of times us people like we tend to forget that these people these from not even just like YouTubers or streamers, but like musicians, artists, actors, fucking directors, writers. Hell, a guy that works a job like around the fucking corner. We tend to forget that they're still people. We tend, especially with like people that are considered celebrities, like Etika was. We tend to hold them on such like a high pedestal that we don't see them so much as people anymore. We see them as like idols, and sometimes some like gods. And it's
Dehumanizing.
yeah. That's honestly great. That's a great word for it. Like, and even like the word itself has such a negative connotation, and it's like it's not wrong because we're seeing them as above human, which in the end they're not. They're still human. They still have feelings, they still have emotions, they still have lives, they still have families, friends, and we tend to forget that. And it's just like I think because we don't personally know them. We don't know what type of person they are, what type of person they can be. Like, we don't know how they're feeling 100% of the
I
time.
don't know how they are once the cameras are off.
Yeah, then we just yeah. We see, and one of the things I put is that we see people on screen as characters. We don't see them as people. We see them as just characters in a camera. People that are just there for our amusement and then they're gone. And it can be when you look at it that way, it can kind of be really damn depressing because like they're probably a good chunk of people that are just like they don't really see me so much as a person. They see me as an actor, a character. Like in breaking up that video again. In that video, he said then, once I'm gone, I'll be like I'll be like a big deal for maybe a day or a couple days, and then everyone will just go back to their regular lives. And it's just like no, like when you hear that, you just think that is probably one of the saddest things I've ever heard because it's not wrong. It's not entirely wrong for a lot of people. You know, for a lot of people, you you just see another person that's just gone, and it's just like, well, there goes another person. You don't really take the time to acknowledge that they're human, that they lived a life, a very maybe maybe not the most fulfilling life. So there's some people that have everything in the world and their lives aren't fulfilling at all, and it's upsetting because of that. It's just it's rough.
Yeah. When you're constantly looking at someone from like I look at it like this. So the human body, I don't believe it can really distinguish reality from fiction. Like so, for example, like you look at say a drawing of something from someone, and it elicits some sort of emotional reaction out of you. Like where did that come from? Nothing's being done to you in reality. It's just this thing, this external stimuli that comes and does something to your brain. This isn't like the same stimuli that comes from, say, um, actually touching someone, meeting someone, being in their presence, and understanding this is human being around me when we're interacting. So you have this kind of cognitive dissonance when you're just looking at this person online. This is still a person in real life, but that doesn't really register in your brain. It's just actor. And then something happens in real life that takes them away from that, and all of a sudden the bridge from reality to fiction has been made. And so now you have all these people sad, upset, and seriously just kind of ashamed of themselves, actually, how they did not see the humanity in Etika and even other celebrities. I mean, think of Michael Jackson. I mean, that was a human being himself. He was just harassed by the paparazzi, CNN, and all these other people so much that he lost who he was. He lost who was Michael Jackson. Etika lost who was what was his name?
Desmond.
Yeah, he lost who Desmond was. He just became Etika, and Michael Jackson became just dude who beat his crotch up on stage.
It's not. It's unfortunately it's not entirely wrong.
So yeah, I mean that's another thing. Etika, I know he was talking about the dangers of social media, because when you become one of those creators, I mean I've had experiences myself to a little bit of a degree. It's like there's this other person, this other version of you that you projected out onto the online world, and it is you, but it's not all of you. So when you lose yourself in the process of just constantly putting out, not spending time, like Phil said, focusing on yourself, understanding who you are, where you are going in the real world, you kind of lose sight of that. You lose sight of that, and like Etika, he made that video. I'm sorry. He apologized to a lot of people, and it was so sad because he thought there was no hope. There was no hope, no chance for him to turn his life around when he had the full ability to, but he just couldn't see it. It just wasn't a part of his reality. That is a shame, and it's part of our responsibility as his followers, as his external stimuli, to help him see, hey, I know you pushed me away. I know you don't want help, but that thing on the horizon that you're looking at, that's a train. And it's coming to hit you. And you're not going to live from that. That's our responsibility as people.
I agree wholeheartedly with all that. It's just like when you're a celebrity, you really can get lost in stardom. It's really dumb. You can get lost in the sauce, essentially.
Lost in the sauce.
And it's not wrong. It's not wrong. You can get lost in your fame. That's why so many YouTubers are like, I'm not a celebrity. Don't call me a celebrity. That's why a lot of celebrities are like, I'm not a celebrity. Don't call me celebrity. I'm just an actor. I'm just an actor. I'm doing my job. You know, and it's just like it's just we just don't remember that, and it can really it can tear some people apart. It is our responsibility to acknowledge that these are still people.
Yeah.
They're still living beings. You know, there's nothing wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with being happy for someone's achievement. You know, for being happy that they they act or they make music, but in the end, that's just being happy about it. That's not putting them on such a high standard that they don't think they can be human anymore. You know, as far as like kind of all over the place, but essentially going back to what I said about him having bipolar disorder, which means like when he got hyped up, he got really, really hyped up.
That is true. He got really hyped up.
He got really damn hyped up.
Have you ever been around someone with bipolar disorder?
I actually have.
Like, what was that like?
My ex had bipolar disorder, and she would take medicine for it, so he was usually under control. She would take medicine. She wouldn't go to the therapist, you know. But like on the days where she just either didn't go to the therapist or she didn't take the medicine, it would be it could be a shit show sometimes. She could be really fucking. You could like with when you have bipolar, you can be really damn happy to the point where it just doesn't. It seems a little maniacal, which is kind of why like on it says like my notes say a manic high. When you're low, you're like really low to the point where it's like, why do I exist? Why do I live? Do I deserve to live? Shit like that. And with with bipolar, the problem that we kind of just stated becomes worse because of that. You know that idolization that people give these people. With one of the things he would say was, where is it? It was he would have delusions. He would basically say, "I am the Antichrist," or "I am God." And like I said, with bipolar, certain things are fucking magnified. You know, there are things that people take into account. There are things that people bring into their heart that just can just escalate the hell out of their ego or their happiness or joy or fucking infatuation or just massively bring down like their mood. They can be very sad. They can get very angry. You know, they're like I said, my ex she would get depressed. She would get really sad and depressed. Excuse me. But with other people, they can get really angry. You know, and that's kind of another reason why we're talking about this is because Etika suffered from a mental illness. So many people suffer from mental illnesses every day. They lose, and with these illnesses, yeah, you can control them, but that doesn't mean it's not gone. It's still there. It's still prevalent. It's mental. It's always in your mind, you know. And it's like stuff like bipolar, you know, clinical depression. People that do have depression clinically, like mentally, you know, it's like stuff like that. It exists. It's real, and we need to be there for the people that have like illnesses,
Especially when they push you away.
Yeah, that's when they need you the most, when they're trying to push you away.
Absolutely. However, there is one thing I will add to that. There are instances where no matter how much you want to be there, it won't help. It will not help at all. It will hurt like hell. They may decide this life isn't for me and just make the decision and just don't. they may just decide, why do I need to be here? Drown themselves, take some overdose on pills, drugs like heroin, meth. And that's just one of them. Or jump off. You don't know. You don't know. Like you can be there every time they need you, and they still do it. They can do it at a fucking snap of the fingers, a flip of the coin, and it's and unfortunately, if it when it does happen, then then people that try to prevent it, people like Etika's followers, his friends, his family,
They receive that.
yeah,
The pain really never goes away. It just moves on to someone else. As generic as that saying is, it's true. This is what happens.
it's 100% what happens. One time, I was just walking, and my ex and I were just talking, and I was joking around, and she got really upset with me. The joke was in poor taste on my part. I understand that. I'm not saying the joke because it's still in poor taste. I don't even say the joke anymore because it was in such poor taste. And what she did after was horrible. She literally went and stood in the middle of the street. She stood like straight in the middle. It was nighttime, so there were like no cars. But she stood in the middle of the street. And it's like when like I said, it can happen so fast that you just would not expect it at all.
And it's pretty easy to joke about like certain I guess what I call controversial things when you're not dealing with them. It's very easy to just make fun of things people make jokes all the time about shit like 9/11, the Holocaust, but it's because we've never had to go through that really. So it's easy to joke about something that you haven't been through until you actually go through it. I don't know. I guess it's
Unless you know someone that has gone through it. Yeah.
just the dark part of society, I guess.
It's like for me, I've always been one of those joke is a joke, but I do understand when a joke is in really bad fucking taste.
Yeah.
It does depend on the person. It does depend on the audience, and some jokes are just in really bad taste.
Mhm.
And like I said, it can lead to people doing shit like this. Like there's something I saw where it's like if you have $86,400 in the bank, if you lose $10, will you really be that pissed? Probably not. Yeah, that's how many seconds we have in a day. Like if you like 10 seconds of your day, you have if you get mad for 10 seconds, don't let it ruin your day. For some people, they can't do it. For some people, that doesn't matter. Those 10 seconds stay with them. A lot of us, 10 seconds will stay with you. But for others that do get angry quick because of bipolar, do get or do get depressed because they have clinical depression, then that can ruin their whole day. That's why I tend to be very careful with jokes because it really can fuck up. It can fuck up a certain person's whole day. I usually just do self-deprecating jokes because it just fucking works for me.
Yeah.
Okay? But it's like for people that don't do those type of jokes, just be very careful, be cautious because you don't know every word you can say can hurt someone immensely. Like words can hurt too. Um, yeah, like it's just I guess like I said, the main basis of this is that a good man, despite all the shit we have said, he was still a good person. He was a good person that wanted good things for many people. He was a good person that just wanted people to have good days. That's why he did what he did. He would go on YouTube. He could be tired as hell, Maybe it's just a day when it's like I don't really feel like doing this, but I'm gonna do it for y'all. And as much as he would say, I don't do it for you guys, I do it for me, I don't entirely believe that. I believe that there was a part of him inside that knew that he wasn't just doing it just because he himself wanted to, but because he not only the satisfaction from probably making someone's day better, but also because he knew that what he did brought happiness to others. He liked spreading that happiness and joy with others, and laughter. And it is sad. It is a sad occurrence that it happened. Suicide is such a real thing. It's real and it's permanent. You can't erase it. If once you do it, or someone you know does it, it's done. Or, or you know what I mean? It's done. He can't be reversed. You can't reverse death. You know, it's tough. It's when it's tough. It's hard. It really is.
Going back to that thing about the way of words and jokes and stuff, it kind of reminds me of comedians. Like they've been getting a lot of flack in the news and stuff. Like, they'll be making jokes all the way outside of poor taste.
Oh yeah.
The kind of stuff that makes you say, "Ooh,"
It's like, oh jeez.
or if it's like in your area, it's like, you know what? I'm a little upset about that. I'm a little pissed off. I kind of want to punch this guy in the face, even though he's on the screen. He's not in front of me. I just want to punch this guy in the face. But like it's comedy.
Yeah.
It's he's just doing his job, trying to make a buck.
Yeah.
And part of the job, like everyone on YouTube, in the movies, even in video games sometimes, it's trying to give people an experience, they feel good about, or I guess in our terms, experience worth
Remembering.
remembering, informing, bringing awareness and whatnot, right? But the way of words, I mean, I feel like it's got to be something that's definitely got to be taught at an earlier age nowadays more than ever, because I mean you're just exposed to so many people's opinions, so many people's reckless opinions. I know Dave Chappelle, he once said, well, I'm not sure if it was Dave Chappelle, but it wasn't me. But basically, hey, you go to comedy to listen to someone speak recklessly. Partly to laugh, but partly to know what it sounds like when someone is speaking recklessly. So that when you come across that in real life, that's something that's not like, man, that ain't shit, dude. I mean, there are so many times for me in high school when people would say a thing or two, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of irritating. That kind of touches my pride a little bit. Yeah. But you know what? No one has said anything harder than my mom. So, like, that's kind of like the standard for me. Yeah. If you ain't harder than that, like why are we throwing hands? Why are we getting angry? Yeah. It's just you speaking your piece and whatnot. Not that it really matters or anything, but I keep on checking with my head. Some people it's not as easy to do that. It's some people they were talked too nicely all their childhood. I think that's a lot of kind of where this sensitivity comes from. It's like you're always taught to be nice, and when someone was not nice, that's wrong, and we should punish that. It's like they punished you. I think it's pretty important to kind of like this might be a little controversial, but let boys be boys. Let people whoop up on each other's asses and whatnot. Some people need to take an ass whooping, but yeah, you gotta hold that back too, because there's bullying.
Yeah.
Even though some people call that character building, still there's a degree to everything.
Well, either way, at the end of the day, you really can't satisfy everyone. No, can you? You're always going to upset someone, no matter what your intentions might be. You're going to upset someone at the end of the day. Really.
Yeah, it's a condition.
overall, and taking everything we've said here into account, we can't ignore the fact that we lost a good person, as I've said earlier. I repeat myself. We lost a good person.
Yes, we lost a good person.
Would bring joy to so many people's days. When just get up in the morning and think, I'm gonna bring someone happiness today. And knowing that really upsets me, and you hear this all the time, you really do, but I'm going to fucking preach it. Suicide isn't the answer. If there's no one else in the world you can talk to, suicide hotlines. Honestly, I have a whole list.
So many countries, there's all the suicide hotlines you got on your computer.
Like there's so many. I'd say probably about 30-ish, maybe.
Right, there are suicide hotlines for each country.
Yeah.
And so, like, I can call the suicide hotline for Russia.
Yes, there actually is one for Russia.
And would someone respond to me in English?
Probably not.
Yeah.
It's mainly for people in that country, John.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to talk to someone in English, you could probably call like the England one or the Australian one too. The one I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, that's supposed to be serious though. Never mind.
We'll save that for the last serious episode.
We'll save that for next week. Next week is the funny week. There will be another one tomorrow. Yeah. If we can at least get 2 people.
We're still working out some of the kinks here. You know, the first few episodes are going to be a little rocky, but you know, we're going to figure this out as we go along.
As you can see, we're in my fucking room right now.
And sooner or later, we're going to have to figure this out. How we're going to do this when we're all in college and in different schools and shit.
I was thinking like Skype, maybe Discord.
Yeah. But we'll figure that out as we go along. Right now, since we're on summer vacation, we're all in the same area, so we can record together.
But yeah, there's a lot of numbers on here. I will be 100% honest. I think I will go through them all. It's going to be very, very, very boring. But I'm going to go through all the hotline numbers. Bear with me, please. Please bear with me. Because there are a lot. Starting off, we have Argentina, plus 540-222-234-930-430. Australia 131-114. Austria 0171-33374. Belgium 106. Bosnia and Herzegovina. Holy fuck, I can't read that.
I know the name of that country.
Herzegovina.
I forget how to pronounce it too. I watched Geography Now episode. I'm wearing the shirt too. Geography Now, not sponsored.
We're not at all.
Not sponsored.
But anyways, number is 080-05-0305. Botswana is 3911-270. Brazil is 188 for the CVV National Association. I don't exactly know what that means, but and we have the Montreal hotline, which is 514-723-4000. That's in Montreal, and then outside is 1-866-277-3553. They're already bored. They're on their phones. Hey, Crow.
My phone popped in my pocket.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
I was trying to. What?
He was on his phone. It's Croatia 014-833-888. Denmark plus 457-020-1201. Talking shit already. Egypt 762-16. 762-1602 is Egypt one.
because this is a serious episode.
Estonia 372-655-8088. And the Estonia and Russia 372-655-5. God, I cannot read that. 688. Finland 010-195-202. France 0145-394000. I feel like the physics teacher giving a really boring lecture.
It's like, I promise we're not doing this just to fill an hour, okay? This is serious episode.
We really aren't. Another part of the reason why I'm kind of doing this is because it was very serious. I kind of want to lighten the mood a little bit, you know? I could just do France. I just did France. Germany 0800-1810771. Holland 09000767. You're wrong. Hong Kong plus 852.
We're going back to the east side now.
Plus 852-2382. Quadruple zeros, 4 zeros. Hungary 116123.
You mean Hungary?
India
Just gonna ignore that.
5 eights. 5 eights. 5 of those 8s. 17666. Ireland plus 44-084-57-90-90-90. Italy 800-860-022. What are you doing?
It's fine.
Read numbers. You're drawing attention to me.
We're
I
all.
got it covered.
I promise, Walm. I promise I'm almost done.
Okay.
I promise I'm almost done.
How close?
Japan, I'd say maybe 15 more.
10, 15 more.
I've gone through probably about 20. Plus 810-3528-69090. Mexico 5255-102550. New Zealand 0800-54-3354. Norway plus 47-81-53-33-00. Philippines 02-896-9191. Poland 52-7-123-40. Portugal 21-854-0740/8.96898150.
You know that
one's
edgy.
That one's
got slashes.
That one's different. I haven't. That one's a new one. Russia 0078-2025 77577.
Josh, calm down. This is the serious episode.
9145-90050. Great start to this.
Digging deep in the controversy.
South Africa 051444. Yep, 5691. Sweden 46317112 400. Switzerland 143. Very simple. UK 08457909090. USA 1-800-273-8255. And then if you maybe know veteran, there's one for the veterans too, which is 1-800-273-8255 or text 838-255. Okay, I finally done
Hilarious how the USA has a lane number for their suicide hotline. It's like, and that's so priceless. Okay, go for it.
Josh, this is horrible. You are doing terrible. You're doing good. You were doing good. But yeah, those are all the numbers. If you want, you can go back through the video. Whichever country you're in, just follow that number. Yeah. This has been the first episode of the EitherOr podcast, the show where we either do a serious topic or a funny topic. It's usually on alternating weekends. I'm Phil. This is Paul. And that was Josh. We're signing out. Have a good day, and let's love each other. Having trouble. Having
Oh,
trouble.
no. Oh no.
Technical.
Oh no. Oh
You
no.
failed, Bill.
Oh no.
Technical difficulties.
Oh no.
Actually ending it now.
There
See
we
you
go.
later. Yeah, no, the YouTube. Yeah, that one. I can edit this one. I'm pretty sure. I think. If not, I'm sorry, people.